Hello everyone, welcome to another art vlog. If you are new here, my name is Brittany and I am a multidisciplinary artist. And in today's video, I wanted to dive into something that's been on my mind lately, something that I really wanted to share with you all, and that is the journey of becoming a full-time artist and entrepreneur. Over the years, I've learned so many valuable lessons that I am very excited to share with you all. And I also included a painting time-lapse painting that I am working on for my upcoming solo exhibition. This is my very first solo exhibition, so I'm really excited and wanted to take you all on the progress of this painting. And stay tuned for the final reveal. So with that being said, enjoy the vlog and see you soon. So we are here in the art studio, and I figured I'd create a day in a life, but I thought it would be cool to create like a 2 to 3 hour day in a life, because majority of the day it does change, and I wanted to section it to where, okay, for 2 hours I was doing this, and then 3 hours I was doing that. So yeah, for the first hour, well, towards the afternoons, I did have a lot of errands to run in the beginning of the day. I pulled out my drafting table finally. So backstory on this amazing drafting table. First off, shout out to my brother-in-law for coming through with this table. He saw it at an estate sale, called me up and was like, sis, they got this really cool drafting table that I think you love and benefit from. So I was like, hell yeah. And the price was so low. It was literally $15. And usually these tables run for like $1,000 or more, which is insane to me. So I was just really just happy and grateful altogether that he looked out for me and was like, let's get this for you, sis. But yeah, so far so good. I haven't been able to use the table as much as I wanted to because I am a business owner. So juggling business and art can oftentimes be very overwhelming. So that consists of not working in the studio at all, but only just like doing admin work and, you know, preparing proposals and presentations for outreach and things of that nature. So yeah, it's been really hard for me to like get back on track in terms of like my creative projects, but since I am showing I'm showing paintings at my very first exhibition, I've been creating nonstop. And even before I got offered to show my pieces at a gallery, I just got back in a groove I got back in the groove and started creating again. So it's been I think 6-7 months since I've painted on canvas, which is insane to me. So yeah, I'm really happy that I was like, okay, let's just get the ball rolling. Let's keep going and create. So this table here is phenomenal in every sense, in every way, because the ruler that you guys see here came with the table, and I was really shocked. I was like, wow, this is a really interesting ruler. But yeah, so this table is just great. It's adjustable. It has light bulbs inside to where I could project the graph paper that you guys see there under my designs and draw straight up there. So there's no guessing where I should draw a line or having to like think. So yeah, this is a huge game changer for me. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Before getting started on what I learned as a full-time artist and entrepreneur, I wanted to go a little bit in depth on my background starting out. So I started my career 7 years ago, and before starting my career, I did not go to school. I did not have a mentor, anyone tell me or actually guide me in the direction that I am in today. I had to do a lot of experimentation, a lot of research. Now leads to what I've learned. Well, actually, before getting into that, I started creating as young as I can remember, and I was always very curious about what my peers were doing, what my mom was doing. My mom is an artist. She is very, very talented, and I remember just really looking up to her and being admired by her process. And my uncle, my grandmother, they're all creatives as well, so I've definitely walked in their footsteps for sure. But of course, as years progressed, I got more curious and really wanted to know how can I kick off my art career. But before even starting a business, I had to build my portfolio and really figure out what I wanted to do. So as I went through the trial and error and experimentation stages, I realized that geometric art was my go-to. It's what resonated with me. It's what flowed with me. So I stuck with that and created a lot of work of art. Of course, I did adapt into like fine art and traditional art, but I really loved creating shapes. So after creating a large body of work, I noticed that my work started looking very similar. And when I say that, a lot of the work that I was creating was shape-based. So I knew that I didn't want to draw anything other than shapes. So that's when I started experimenting with different mediums. So I started with stencil making, murals and illustrations, digital art, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. I dabbed into digital art, learned Photoshop, all of the Adobe creative suites, all of the Adobe softwares I learned on my own. And like I said, didn't have anyone tell me how to go about using these softwares. So I'd say roughly it took me about a year or 2 years to really get myself into that form of art, and of course bring those experimentations to life by eventually selling it, which I will now get into is what I've learned throughout that process to starting everything. So I'm happy that I took the time to really figure out what it was that I wanted to do. That way, when I did want to sell my work or put it out there, I was sure and more confident. So moving forward to the business aspect, I started my business 7 years ago, and I started off my business by painting murals. So no idea how to go about doing it. Everything was a first time approach. So I did make a lot of mistakes. Moving on to the first, so number one is the passion and persistence. Throughout my entire career, or even starting out my journey as an artist, I was persistent. I never gave up. There were times to where I, of course, started out and I didn't make as much money as I'd like. I was a starving artist, but I kept going. I never stopped creating art. I never stopped being curious to trying out new mediums and really just expanding my portfolio, because I knew that's what I love to do. So that passion and persistence is really what kept me going. So another thing that I've learned is embracing the failure and learning from mistakes. So going back to the mistake part of my career, I've made a lot of mistakes. At first, I beat myself up about the mistakes that I've made, and I felt that, wow, why would I do this? Why didn't I go about doing this another way? Or blaming myself, feeling embarrassed, and not knowing that throughout the process, there's going to be a lot of mistakes, but they happen for a reason. So that way in the future, you learn from them. So embracing that has been literally one of my best teachers, and through each mistake, it's taught me something new. And I've learned that failure is an opportunity to grow, to refine my skills, and to approach my art with fresh eyes. So it's really all about turning setbacks into setups for, future success. So another thing that I've learned is time management and discipline. Oh God, time management, you guys. I still struggle with time management, but it wasn't as bad as before. But balancing working in the studio, administrating admin tasks, and my personal life is just a juggling act. And I found that setting clear routines and priorities is essential. So discipline has literally been my ally in staying productive, and that's what keeps me moving forward. So yeah, it's still a work in progress. It's still a work in progress for me, but I know with time, I will get better. And I do have a manager now, so she's been helping me out with, outreach and emailing. So I'm just really grateful for her, contribution and her commitment into my business and my craft. So yeah, it's amazing to just have that help, because there's only so much that I can do. So let's move on to the next thing that I've learned, and that is navigating through self-doubt and overcoming challenges. So going back to what I was stating about making mistakes, I had so much doubt because of those mistakes that I made. So I wasn't putting myself out there because I was afraid of making those mistakes, which is really detrimental to just your career and being an artist. So self-doubt is, to me, like an uninvited guest that can sneak into just your creative process. So here's one thing: acknowledging it is the first step to overcoming it. I've learned that by focusing on my strengths and pushing through those challenging moments, I can silence that self-doubt and create from a place of confidence. So overcoming those challenges and navigating through that self-doubt and embarrassment really that did help me along the way. All right, so let's move on to the next thing that I've learned, and that is building a personal brand and networking. Networking was so hard for me, you guys, because I am an introvert. There's an event and there's a lot of people, I tend to shut down. But I realize that sometimes, I don't know, I just feel like there's times to where I do feel like an introvert, but then I guess it just all depends on the setting. And eventually I end up opening up and I end up talking to people. In the very beginning stages, I did none of that. And, but in today's digital world, building a personal brand is very essential. So I've discovered the power of connecting with other artists and other people through social media and networking. So by showing my work and engaging with my audience, I've been able to create a community that supports my artistic journey. So that's something that I've learned. And the last thing I've learned is financial management and sustainability, you guys. Like, now let's talk about the financial side of things. Being a full-time artist means managing your finances wisely, which is something that I'm still working on. Like I said, throughout this entire process, it is a work in progress. So there's certain things that still need to be worked on, but I know with dedication, persistence, and just having an open mind will help me move so far. And so far, so good. It's been doing great for me. But I ain't gonna lie, you guys, it's been hard. So the last thing that I wanted to mention is the continuous learning and skill development. So we are continuously, throughout this career, I've learned that I am always learning something new about my business and my art. Just so recently, I created a new portfolio that consists of illustration work. I never thought that I would be creating illustration art, but it's something that I've always wanted to do, but I didn't know that I would start the time that I did. And that time occurred when I was going through a really, really bad case of artist block, and I didn't want to create at all. And out of nowhere, I just wanted to draw things. So, for example, I just wanted to draw people, a skyline or a house or a person or hair or mountains or whatever came to mind. Added it to my sketch. I started drawing in my sketchbook, and then all of these ideas started coming up. Okay, so that's how I began my illustration portfolio. And I'll link some photos of my recent illustrations, show you guys what I've been working on these last couple of months. But yeah, I'm always learning new things about myself. I'm learning how to effectively manage my time, create to-do lists in the morning. I'm waking up early to start the day. I'm learning more about the business side of things. So sending out proposals, editing proposals, talking to people, setting up meetings, murals. I paint murals, and God, that's another video in itself. So there's just so much things that I've learned as a full-time artist. And also one thing that I've learned is to not put all your eggs in one basket, because you need to expand and continuously create those opportunities for yourself. There's a time to where I depended on a project thinking that this was going to go through, and it didn't, which caused a really bad pay gap, which means that I didn't have money. I didn't have money to get by, and it was just a really hard time. So really continuously search for those opportunities for yourself and to never give up. And I know that times are really hard to where things are not going your way, but trust me when I tell you, the persistence and the passion is going to get you there 100%. Literally 100%. I had to tell myself that. I had to continuously set a mantra in my head. The first thing in the morning is to keep going. Set a reminder to know why you are doing something. Don't just do it because you want to make money. And yeah, at times it's really hard because, like, you know, being an artist is probably the hardest journey I've embarked on thus far, but it's worth it because, you know, I've met so many people throughout my, journey. I have a really amazing support system. I've also learned a lot, and it's taught me to be who I am today. So I'm really, 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 really adamant, and I mean this strongly, is to keep going. And no matter what happens, just keep at it, you guys. Continue to build your portfolio, continue to experiment, continue that curiosity, continue to, give yourself those days to where you do take a break, because it's okay to fall off a little bit. But remember that remember your purpose, your sole purpose. And yeah, so that is all for this vlog. I hope this was very insightful and inspirational, and I hope this helped you in some way as well. So thank you all for watching this video, and I'm really excited that you all are here with me. I've gained about 100, maybe 200 subscribers in the last couple of days, and I'm really excited because I have so much content that I'm going to put on this channel for you guys. And as always, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.